Okay. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Highlander 8. Um, so America's Best Dance Crew has finally had the seventh season has finally started. So we're getting into thick of things. These crews, I think on paper, look really really good. Wasn't really impressed by this episode here, especially since they did Britney Spears season 3, and that episode I'm not even a Britney Spears fan. I still think that was one of the best episodes I remember ever seeing. So we're going into it here. Um, but we meet our first 5 crews. The group performance was to I can't remember the song. I'm not a Britney Spears fan. So I really can't remember, unfortunately. But I want to go. That's what it is. Um, which I really can't stand the song. But anyway, we got a chance to see everybody, do their thing and stuff like that. I'm gonna kind of get quick. I only have like 15 minutes to do this. So, for my first look and looking at everybody, the first 5 crews, which is gonna be Fanny Pack. 8 flavors. Yeah, Fanny Pack is back from season 2. Y'all. I don't know if y'all remember them. They lost a heartbreaker to Super Crew, to get into the finals, which I still think is bullshit because Fanny Pack beat Super Crew that night. I'm not impressed by Super Crew, so face it, whatever. Um, but Fanny Pack, 8 flavors, uh, erratic, step boys, and mixed elements. If I had going off the group performance and stuff like that, if I had to place them right off the back in terms of skill and everything, Fanny Pack would be number 1. Erratic, mixed elements would probably be my number 2. Um, I think erratic would probably just going off of group performance, I'd say probably 8 flavors would have been my 3. Erratic would have been my 4th, and I would have definitely put Step Boys at the bottom. I just they didn't do anything in the group performance. Anyway, let's get into the performances here. First up is 8 flavors. They're starting off season 7 this year, and I mean starting off this year is starting off years is pretty good. Let's face it. What the first crew that went last year won the whole thing. I am me won the whole performance. I mean, won the whole show. Um, I like 8 flavors. They're from Hawaii. Their kind of sob story. It was actually kind of. I mean, it's actually a difficult thing to do. Half your crew is in Hawaii, half of your crew is in LA. That miles of water to go through in order to see each other. So they're sitting there trying to practice from webcam, and as you can see, I mean, my head, I'm looking at webcam now. I'm trying to figure out how the hell they do it. But anyway, they're a young crew. They're going to draw a lot of comparisons to Iconic Boys last year, who they caused it. You either loved them or you hated them. I, for one, was one that hated them. I just did not think they were that strong. The one thing I will say about 8 flavors, though, and just to let you know, they performed to 3, which was performed by Hype 50, one of the crews that I know is endorsing them, and but that was one of Hype's best performances ever. Um, 8 flavors did an okay job. They're good. The one thing I can tell about 8 flavors is the fact that they're way better than Iconic Boys. You still have to draw the comparisons to them, unfortunately, just because their crew is just so damn young. But they're way better than Iconic Boys. And all you 14-year-old and 12-year-old girls that I've been fighting with on YouTube about the idea, listen, Iconic Boys is not that great of dancers. 8 flavors just showed you why. So I know y'all won't vote for them, but if you're voting on skill, that's how. So I don't want to hear that Spiky Mike looks all good. I don't give a crap. But they did good. I like the fact that they're very, very agile. They're very, very athletic. I like that. I love that fact. My issue with them is we're gonna play. I think the judges and us at home are gonna play with them with kid gloves. We are. Them being kids, them being so young. Yeah, they're good. Yeah, they're a little too cutesy for me. This is a dance competition, and this is only the first episode, so that's why I'm not coming down on them hard like I did, like I would some other crews, because I don't think we got the greatest inkling in the world of what they're gonna do and what they're gonna do. But they're a good crew. I'm not hating on them. They did a good job. But I definitely want to see more. They're middle of the road to me. I think there's better crews out there. Let's go with second was Mixed Elements from Cali. I thought they were going to be confused with a couple of crews this season, mainly uh, Electrolytes and Step Boys, and because they all do b-boy moves, they all throw in comedy when they can, things of that nature. So I thought that they were going to be, I thought the producers would have to do a lot to kind of distinguish them apart, and they did a good job. But their explanation of "we do everything" is not a good one because Collision Crew, who's going to be competing next week, does everything too. Apparently, they flex, they crump and break and everything like that. But two different sides of the country, so Lord knows what they're going to do about it. Mixed Elements performed to Till the World Ends, and a song that I've never heard of until tonight, and they were good. They aren't the greatest crew in the world, but they're a great crew. I'm not gonna hate on them. I see a lot of they got a lot of stuff to do to kind of show that, hey, we're a powerhouse. Okay, no problem. But a good crew nonetheless. I know the judges came down on them hard after seeing 8 flavors, which I don't think is very fair. I think it's age discrimination, to be honest with you. But I was impressed. I thought they did way better than 8 flavors, but apparently the judges didn't think so. But whatever the case, I think they're. I really hope that we see more of them. I do. Next up is Erratic from Montreal, Canada. This is a subsidiary of the Blueprint crew from season 5, who was a good crew. Upon looking at them though, they also have this request thing about them from last season. I like requests. They kind of suffer from what I call box cutter syndrome, which means they were way better on the show, way better off the show, like World of Dance and Hip Hop International, than they are on the show. And request is no question. But Erratic may not very well be this. I think they're a good crew. I like them. I can't remember the song that they performed to, unfortunately, but they definitely have this request thing about them. The one thing I think they need to do is utilize the stage more. They just do. Good crew though, and I hope we see more of them too. I really am waiting to see what they're gonna bring out here, and I hope they don't kind of play the one trick pony like Request did, unfortunately. But I think they were kind of screwed into doing it. Fourth crew of the night is probably the most interesting crew of the night, which was Step Boys. They're from Roseville. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, Ryan Fang and Dietrichs was actually part of this crew a couple of years ago. They were. But and you can kind of see how and why. But I told you that this was one of the crews that I thought I was going to get confused with Electrolytes and Mixed Elements on. Come to find out, they played a whole comedy element a whole lot more than I thought they did. I've seen them on World of Dance and things of that nature, and they're a great crew. On the show, I wasn't very impressed. They performed to if you seek Amy was the name of the song. And let me tell you, that very first stunt that they pulled, which was actually doing a flip onto the stage, was amazing. That was still one of the highlights of the night for me. Now the crew does play the humor element way more, and we've had funny crews on the show. Swagger Crew, Fresh, Status Quo was probably one of the first funny crews. Quest Crew, of course, Instant Noodles, Poriotics. These were all crews that used humor somewhere in their dance, most of the time in their dance. It's kind of hard pressed not to find a performance where they weren't trying to be funny. But they were a good crew. I mean, they were they were all right. I like the way that they're being introduced to us. Their choreo sucks, something awful. It is terrible. Like, they're really elementary. We're talking like Ringmaster choreo, But Ringmasters was sitting there breaking their arms, so it was kind of cool in that way. But Step Boys not so much. I mean, the jokes were really lowbrow, third gradish. I mean, do the suggestive stuff. I mean, if you're gonna go the humor route, do the suggestive stuff like Quest Crew. Like, don't rely on the gags. Use the gags. Use the gags more than the other crews that I've named. I'll even say that. But at the same time, make sure that choreo is on point, because it's not. The tricks are on point. You're a great crew, Step Boys. And one of the things I respect about Step Boys too, and you may not have seen this, but they're actually calling for their fans to actually to actually tell them the next move that they should do for next week or the week after, which is funny, which is cool. I've never seen that before. I've never seen a crew kind of reach out to their fans like that before, other than, oh, we thank you for voting for us and all that bullshit. But they got a long way to go. But I do like the dynamic of what they're kind of going for and stuff like that with the humor. But less lowbrow, more choreo, but definitely keep the gags up, keep the tricks coming, because they're good. Finally, we have Fanny Pack, the mighty Fanny Pack whose banner dropped on season 2. And it's funny that we get a chance to see them again, because there was when they were saying crews that have already tried out, that have already been on the show can try out again. So I heard Beat Your Feet Kings audition, and thank God they didn't make it. I heard Street Kingdom tried to come back, which would have been really odd if they made it. Just you got to give us a little bit of time there. And then I heard that I heard Jungle Boogie was trying to come back, and I would have loved to see that, because I think they've gotten nothing but better since the show they had. But Fanny Pack is the one, and I'm sorry, Fanny Pack should have been the winner of season 3. I like Soul Real Crew. I am not a big fan of Super Crew, but see, Fanny Pack should have won that season, and Super Crew should have dropped to Fanny Pack, and Fanny Pack should have probably beat Soul Real Crew. Hate to say it, but it's true. They performed to Womanizer, which was performed by Beat Freaks in season 3. It was good, but it was never memorable. Fanny Pack it wasn't memorable, but that choreo killed everybody else's tonight by far. And, they kind of have an unfair advantage. They've been in this situation before, They're still good. I hate the fact that Tiffany's not there, but Glenda's still there, Megan's still there, Matt's still there, Bo's still there. They got a couple of new members who I'm kind of hoping kind of shows a little more personality as well. It's gonna be good. Kara's still there, so it's gonna be good to see them and see them kind of go up against a couple of folks, but. The performance was good, very choreo heavy, not so many gags other than Matt kind of contacting his inner Brittney and yelling at a pair of clippers before cutting himself, before he was about to cut his hair or whatever. And it was funny, if he would have cut his hair, I would have voted for them forever. Amen. But that didn't happen, but it was still a good performance. Out of the night though, they were easily the best. Unfortunately, Mixed Elements was the one that actually got put into the bottom. I'm not feeling that. I mean, I honestly think it should have been Step. I actually think those two were my favorite. I actually wouldn't mind if Step Boys, Erratic, or 8 Flavors got into the bottom. I think, honestly, give them a kick in the butt. But that's not what happened. So, we're going to have to leave it at that. But the one thing that they did say is Mixed Elements isn't out of the crew, out of ABDC just yet, which is cool, because if you remember, Eclectic Gentleman got beat, and that was it. And it was pretty lame, because Eclectic Gentleman could have probably beat 4 of the crews from the next week. So Mixed Element has a chance to kind of redeem themselves next week. They get to face whoever's in the bottom next week, and I think I got a feeling it's either going to be Funkdation from Mexico or Collision Crew from Atlanta, and we'll get into that next week. But good luck to Mixed Elements, though. They're a good crew, and I'd rather not see them get dropped that quick, because they're a really good crew. They really are. And I think they have a lot of growth in them. But anyways, if I have to rank them, Fanny Pack, after the show, easily Fanny Pack is still on top. I'd probably put Mixed Elements second. Erratic would probably be my third place crew. Fourth place would probably be 8 Flavors, and if Step Boys just has to, I'm not trying to do the Mario Lopez pun, but step it up. But anyway, till next week, we're gonna do some stuff here. I have an announcement that I'm kind of doing here. It's kind of an experiment to see, for real fans. But, anyways, until next week, where the next 5 crews are doing Flow Rider Week, which adds something that I can possibly get behind, depending on the songs here. But anyway, until next week, y'all. Yo, tell me what you think, man. I love to talk about, I love to talk about the show. But anyway, y'all have a good one and happy watching on Wednesday. Peace.